All right, let's go. We got ourselves Onside Gaming's Maru up here in the top left side of this map, playing a best of 5 series in the Harrisburg Uni tournament against Team Envy's DRG. That's right, the Dongray Goo. One of the most famous Zergs from yesteryear. First coming to the forefront, what, 2011? Late 2011, early 2012, I think, was one of his first championship finals. Had some big ones versus MMA back in the day that will live on in infamy. And the fact that he's still competing at the top level today is truly impressive. He was winning championships when Maru was like 11 years old, maybe, no, 13? I think Maru was like 12 or 13 when DRG won his first championship. Maru was a little young un, only really getting in the early stages of GSL, playing for Prime back then. And how far they've come, obviously, Maru becoming the greatest GSL player of all time. Going to go for the low ground 2 ranks Reaper. This is a $3,500 tournament. And by the way, if you're watching this, please don't forget to check out the survey down below the stream. Harrisburg University hopefully run some more tournaments if they get enough feedback from people in the chat or in the comments. So yeah, there's a link in the description if you're watching on YouTube. If you're on Twitch, type !HU for Harrisburg University to get that link. If someone could hit that and you could all do me a favor and click that, fill it out, just a very short feedback form. Thanks to those guys for sharing the replays with me. I really appreciate it. Always nice to have a tournament organizer freely share their replays with casters like myself. I'm sending an SCV across. What is that for, guys? Guys, what is Maru doing? You normally don't bring an SCV across with this. I guess he wants to block the third base? Oh, so he wants to... Wait, no, what? Oh, he's looking for a Zergling run by? No. No, he is coming in to block the third. Okay, he is coming in to block the third. He was just waiting a little bit. Okay, Reaper's going to go in. Link speed's already started, so DRG's going for a quick link speed, which is kind of the standard these days against these 2 ranks Reaper openings. A lot of players will also put a creep tumor connecting the bases at the start. We'll see if DRG is going to do that or not. He actually takes a third on the left, right in the face of these Reapers, and already a 4th Reaper is on the way, guys. So Maru... Oh, and Maru's going to build a bunker as well. The SCV's been spotted. DRG is going to run across the map with those Lings. Probably the best play right now is go across, because on this map, these add-ons are on the outside of the wall. You're not going to be able to defend this hatchery. Ling speed, I don't think is ready in time, is it? 35 seconds. Hatchery is on 210 hit points, 200, 190, 180, 170, 160, 150. Yeah, there's no way Ling speed finishes in time. So you have to cancel it. If those Lings snuck across, they could actually kill the tech lab, maybe the reactor, and do really well. But he's going to build 14 more Zerglings, cancel the hatchery, lose the drone. Maru, is he going to keep that bunker there? That's a cute choice. I haven't seen that one. Keeping the bunker up and just being like, hey, I'm going to try and contain you with this. He's like, if I see a drone move out, maybe try and murk it. But nope, gets out there. 27 drones versus 26. Doesn't look great for DRG right now. Maru does get inside the bunker. Good reaction. How many Lings does he kill with this? Oh, okay, Reaper's going to try to jump up here. Oh, I like that position, though. You can't really find that choke point very well. Oh, the Queen's on the high ground. Ooh, if he stayed at the front of the choke point, mostly out of Queen range, he might have taken a better trade. As it is, DRG shuts the Reapers down, has his third base started, and is back to mass droning. But it wasn't cheap. Of course, he lost a hatchery that he was building. He lost a drone, 9 Zerglings, and did, of course, halt his droning for a long time. We've got a 3rd command center almost finished. So worker-wise, Maru's in a great position right now. What you've got to account for is when is the next actual pressure going to hit the Zerg? Factory is only now finishing, which means Starport will take another 40 seconds to build. 43 seconds, I think it is. 36. But then you've got to swap it onto the reactor, build 2 medevacs. It's going to be like 2 minutes until medevacs get across the map, which means DRG can spread creep, inject, pump drones, and basically get as much map control as possible. I love that he's already breaking down rocks, kind of preparing for the later stages. Maru's trying to poke out with Marines to exert a little bit of pressure, but DRG is honestly playing pretty lazy with his scouting. He's like, dude, I shut down the Reapers. I don't need to worry about anything right now. If you push out, it's going to be a handful of Marines. I don't care. And DRG, as I said, very lazy on his scouting in general. He prefers to just use a bit of map vision to see exactly what's going on. Baneling Nest on the way on the natural. It's pretty fast Baneling Nest for DRG, so he's got that in case he needs the safety. Oh, and the Zergling on the high ground actually sees all the Marines walk right past, and it doesn't look that scary, to be fair. I would not be afraid of this. I would be like, dude, that's not even enough units for me to build Zerglings. I can defend that with Queens alone. So Maru's trying to exert pressure, but realistically, he's actually playing... Oh, he's going to go Widow Mine drops with an armory. Well, I usually talk about how bad that build is, and every time I do, he'll be playing like Serral or something, and he'll kill 25 drones with the first Widow Mine drop, and I'll be like, can I just stop caster cursing things? I'm not even going to say the Widow Mine drop is bad. It is one of my least favorite openings versus Zerg, because they can quickly build spore crawlers. Spores build very quickly. You don't need a special building to do it. You know, it's something where you can also dodge the Widow Mines by building buildings. And you've already got Queens, which is a basic anti-air unit by default. So I always feel like Zerg has the easiest time defending this. Protoss the hardest. Well, Terran obviously is the most easier, since SCVs don't get killed by Widow Mine Splash. They survive with 5 hit points. But out of the 2 races that you would actually Widow Mine drop to, it's like that. I do like Widow Mine drops when you've also got Marines and Medevacs. Kidding. Because then their attention's elsewhere. But if they know it's coming... Oh, get out of there. Maru, turn around. No, don't continue. You see the Queens already. This is a crazy move to continue here. That was a little bit reminiscent of Maru losing to SOS in BlizzCon, where he saw one base Stalker on the edge of the base and he tried to just boost Widow Mines into it. Gets shot down. Gets shot down, gets shut down. See, the one time where I don't talk about how bad the Widow Mine drop is the one time where it actually gets shut down. It's always a bit hit or miss. Sometimes it works out great, but when you do it in isolation, Widow Mine drops aren't great. If these Widow Mines are hitting at the same time as these Marines are stimming in the third, good chance you land big boom booms. But right now, DRG's at 74 workers. He's got a 4th base on the way, 1-1 upgrades, Baneling speed, and he's in a fantastic lead, especially with Hydras coming in against Widow Mines. Hydras shut down the very slow Widow Mine pushes, because whenever the Terran spreads their units out, which is what you want against Ling Bane, the Hydras come forward and just start killing the front few units, picking off the Widow Mines from out of range, forces the Terran to kind of stim their units forward. Then the Banelings run forward, the Marines try to run backwards, the Banelings pull back, the Hydras just keep picking off Widow Mines. It stalls out the advance of these bio mine pushes. Maru actually, interestingly, burrows his Widow Mines, but beautiful spready there from DRG. I love that whole position in the pullback. Oh, DRG is shutting it down. Let's save 15 of those Marines, but Maru's units lost tab looking terrible. 1 to 2 units lost for him. And what's he going to do? 8 racks. Okay, so he's going to do a 3-base 8 racks build. Now, this doesn't make a lot of sense to me. DRG is a mid-game player. DRG is fantastic in the mid-game. He's really not great in the late game, and I've seen him lose a lot of games where the Terran pushes it to late game. He's not the most technical there, but he is a lair tech boy. A guy who excelled in Wings of Liberty and Heart of the Swarm, where it was never hive tech, almost ever, you know, unless you played Broodlord Infestor, which he never really played. It's all about the mid game. And I feel like Maru's mega strength for making comebacks is late game, and especially when you've had a bad start, committing to a giant 3-base push, definitely not the best play. Concussive 2-2 on the way though. Maru's going to try to do it with that Widow Mine drop coming in. Queen's well positioned. Double drop in the top needs to distract if he wants to pull that move off. Ling Bane in the south, Queens and Spores on that base, and the main Ling Bane army in the north. DRG's had a clean early game, and he's making it look rather simple from here. A 20 supply advantage, up 10 workers, taking a 5th on the bottom. His creep control is not amazing, but if I was DRG, I'd probably start looking for some Ling Bane run-bys. Maru does have a bunker there, kind of oddly placed. Maru's going to start pushing on the south. 11 Hydras are out with range. They've got the movement speed upgrade about to kick in as well. Muscular augments. And those Hydras are ready. A few Lings and Banes. Gotta watch out for these Widow Mines though. DRG does take a big boom boom on the first shot. 13 Zerglings going down. Marauder's picking off Banelings. He's going to try and pull back and spread a little bit. DRG seems to only have a small section of his army here. Maru doing pretty good. A lot of his army's in the north. They do push back the drop, but DRG's got to be really careful on the south side. He can't be giving his hatchery up. A few Widow Mines go off. They do take out a fair few Banelings. That one also gets a decent shot. DRG needs to do a better job of spreading his front units forward. He did a better job at that stage. And as he brings these units from the north down, looks like he is going to push Maru out of his territory. Up in the top, Hydra's still pushing these drops back, finding some damage. Keep in mind, there's no hive on the way. Maru could push this game longer. He's got a 4th command center on the way, but only on 70 workers versus 86 drones. And of course, DRG has a massive army right now. You got to account for the strength of those Banelings and those Hydras. Those Widow Mines not finding the mark. They get decent shots, but he needs better than decent because he doesn't have any more Widow Mines behind this. Another Widow Mine does come forward, tries to burrow there. Drilling Claws do not get made in this game. The Widow Mine doesn't even start to burrow before getting taken out. Zergling run by comes in, kills the SCV on the 4th command center. I love the pullback to that bunker, but there's Baneling Hydra coming from the north. The bunker will get taken down. Maru focus fired those Banelings with the bunker. Exceptional micro for Maru, and he pulls the SCVs to the south. Great defense. That was really well done. Maru showing his pedigree. Up against the wall, in a tough position, defends excellently, puts the SCV back on the 4th command center, and he hunts down the retreating units on the right. He's now going to gather his whole army together. 18 Marauders, 30 Marines, but he's only got 2 Widow Mines right now. He's going to need more Widow Mines to push through the Ling Bane. We've also got 23 Hydras out, and with 2-2 about to kick in, the double upgrade advantage that Maru had is sinking away. Not to mention, here comes DRG from the left. Massive flanking army trying to stop this army from getting out of there. Maru trying to pull back, but his units on the right got surrounded and swamped very early. Single Zergling, all taken out by that Widow Mine. That does feel like Maru has been slipping on his Widow Mine production. You can tell in his macro cycle he's queuing up Marines at Marauders and Medevacs first. Widow Mines are coming in a little bit later. He's still got a scary army on the front though. He does take out a few Hydras. 7 Hydras have gone down this game. The Medevacs have been preserved brilliantly. There's still 10 of them on the field. Endless healing for those Marauders as 3-3 upgrades are on the way. I'd love to see DRG keep swinging in with counterattacks. This base is undefended. That base is also an orbital. Okay, Maru is basically saying, I am desperate. I need to just have as much economy and as much aggression as possible. But he gets swarmed on there. He does slip out of the worst parts of the surround. He's attacking the south at the same time, sending some units in down there, picks up and boosts back. But having an orbital exposed means that is very hard. You don't really have fallback points when you skip on the planetaries. On the bottom, it looks like DRG starting to swarm over. He's going to defend that base while counterattacking. The Medevac starting to get popped right now. Baneling's finding the mineral line. Uh-oh. Big boom booms in the mineral line. 19 workers go down. And DRG wisely pulls back, preserving his Hydralisks. Hydralisks are the soft underbelly of the Zerg. This is that weak scale, you know, on Smorg's belly. You do not want to have your Hydras fighting on their own. They need to be protected by the Ling Bane. Maru knows that. He pounces, he kills a lot of the Hydras, but he's taken a big bit of damage. He's got no planetaries. It's just 4 orbitals, a Packer Bio, and a Dream. And DRG, yes, he's still only on layer tech upgrades, but his Hive's now finished. He can add Vipers, Infestors, 3-3 upgrades. There are so many things he's got going for him. On top of that, 84 worker. Massive, massive advantage. Now 89 workers. And being up on 6 bases is nothing to scoff at. A barely 4-base Maru looking desperate in this game. Needs to find the right engagements, but Slight Delta at the start of this series is not treating him very well. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Widow Mines get some good shots. Nice micro by Maru on that one. DRG can take trades like that pretty much all day, though. He's only down 3,000 resources in the units lost, so overall it's been pretty good trading for him. He's got +1 range finish now. 3-3 melee carapace is on the way. Maru says, you know what? I got 120 army supply. I've got 3-3 about to kick in. I'm going to have a double upgrade advantage. This is my moment. And I truly believe if he had even a few siege tanks to really anchor his position and chip away at him, he'd be doing all right. Got a pretty good ball of units there. Not that many Marines in the back. That's a lot of Zerglings and Banelings. The Widow Mine kills a lot of Zerglings, but it also friendly fires the Marines. DRG chases him back on both sides at once. Maru quickly gets out of the scariest position. Does avoid losing too many units. And he's rebuilt those Medevacs that did get taken out earlier. Ling Bane Hydra looking for the counterattack. Remember, even a few Zerglings in these mineral lines will ruin Maru's day. Maru has to pull his whole army up here because he's actually just got nothing. I'm telling you, this might look like a close game. He's up on upgrades. He's got an army supply advantage. He has nothing else. Maru has no second factory, no planetaries. His worker count sucks. And even a few small counterattacks or one bad fight will end him here. Maru needs the perfect engagement. He's taken a very good fight here. That was a great start to the engagement. But there's a lot of Banelings morphing. DRG may be able to hold on to that base. DRG rolls in the counterattack. Goodbye, 4th base of Maru. 15 workers go down. He does get 12 drones. Big mistake for DRG to not pull those drones away. That could have been an easy save. Ling Bane's now going to get on top of the 3rd. The 4th command center just got taken out by the Hydras. Baneling's rolling in on the front as well. Maru with a reactive split. Looks decent on the split, but the Marauders nonetheless still take take damage from those banelings. Okay, DRG needs to pull back. He's got to be careful. He's got to be careful. Maru finding the mark. The double upgrade advantage is very good. All the rest of the army, you can tell DRG's F2ing at home now. He's saying just withdraw, withdraw. I need to stop this push. I'm losing too many bases right now. Maru looking for the epic comeback, but he's deep on creep right now with nowhere to go. The Hydras are going to take out a medevac or two. No, they only take out one. The Hydras on the flank, though, do manage to cut off the retreat. Maru has to divert to the south. He does manage to get these medevacs away, but that is so dangerous. His entire army is in deep red and orange hit point medevacs. They are bruised, they are battered, and a couple of needles from those Hydras will take them down. Not only that, 3-3 is about to kick in. DRG's income may have been chucked into the gutter, but he's sending drones to the bottom left. He's got a new hatchery building there. And remember that Maru's economy sucks as well. Yeah, he's got some mules, but he lost his 4th orbital. The mining is bad for both players. The upgrades are now even. 64 drones are still up for DRG. If he can get 1 or 2 bases up, he will be back in this game. I gotta say, if there was some Vipers... Oh, he's got Vipers! Imagine how well they would have done popping all these medevacs, but the amount of healing on the massive 25 Marauder count is huge. There's no Widow Mines left. You gotta be really careful. I want to see Maru pull the Marines back in a ball. I think his Marines are a bit too blended in his army, and I'd like to see the Marines stutter step behind the Marauders. Oh, Blinding Cloud's coming in. I was not expecting that move. The Lingbane Hydra on the right is trapped, though. They're trapped in the mineral line. Big mistake for DRG. His left flank wasn't able to do it on their own. The right flank was kind of trapped in behind. Now they get out there. Does take out a bunch of these units, but killing a few medevacs doesn't really matter. There's still 7 medevacs there. And oh my god, Maru might actually be able to do this with a 3-3 advantage. Can you believe it? He's going to get another hatchery kill here. DRG's income is looking rough. The Lings and the Hydras coming forward. He does get a few Marauders at least. Maru does overstay his welcome there. That fight turns south pretty fast. Maru's supply plummeting. He's barely had an army supply. He needs to pick up. He needs to get out. He needs to pick up. He doesn't have any firepower. It's all Marauders. And when you don't have any Marines or Widow Mines, you can't deal with Zerglings. Marauders just suck versus Zerglings. Hydraling going for the surround here. DRG, it's a risky engage, but it pays off. He's getting so much value. He may have just lost another base, but he got a new base mining in the bottom. That bottom left corner base keeping his income alive. He's counterattacking into the third right now, blasting the last vestiges of Maru's economy. And Maru did a great job of making this close with the 8 racks play. But at the end of the day, DRG killing that third command center should seal the deal. Maru is out of money. He's going to lift his command center out. But what's he got? 5 Marauders, 6 Marines, 6 medevacs, and 2 Widow Mines. And of course, DRG is still mining. DRG has thousands of minerals coming in a minute. He's way ahead. He's still got minerals on his natural even. And that's going to be just a game over. There's no way mules and 20 SCVs can get you back in here. Maru's going to hang in there. And I do admire the ability to just hang out and see what you can make of a messy game. But he's going to see the size of this army, and he'll tap out very quickly when this fight starts. I don't even think he'll wait to lose his army. I think he'll just get a glimpse of the size of this ball of Zerg, and we'll instantly see a GG. People in chat are comparing the Bio army or the Hydras to archers, whereas the Bio is crossbowmen from Age of Empires, but they have stim pack. Can you imagine stim archers in AoE? Oh my god. Do a stim archer roll in. And if you want to play long term, you gotta get monks out for healing, man. That'd be a fun build. Actually, because it's olden days, maybe rather than using drugs, they have to sacrifice a villager. So basically, like, every 10 archers you have to bring villagers along, and they literally just kill the villager, and then they get a temporary stim pack effect. That'd be badass. I'd be down for it. Nothing like a bit of human sacrifice. Alright, man. DRG is remaxing right now. Maru is basically, he doesn't realize, you know. He's like, I killed a lot of bases, man. You don't realize about the corner base. Like, corner base going the whole time changes everything. He's like, yeah, DRG maybe didn't get a chance to rebuild that much. As I said, he's going to see the army. I don't know if he's seen the depth of that force, but I expect a GG pretty quickly here. Maru just getting absolutely swarmed. And there we go. He taps out. DRG with a really clean game one. Alright, guys, that was a beautiful game one for DRG there. Smashing through Maru in game one. What is Maru scouting for with this? It's interesting he keeps bringing this SCV across. Is he going to do the same bunker rush, maybe? Interesting. 2 racks Reaper for Maru. It's a rough game for Maru, but so much went wrong for him. I don't think he should have kept the bunker there as long as he did. You know DRG loves fast link speed. He does this pretty much every game. So I don't think it makes a lot of sense to invest, you know, so much in losing those Reapers. If you can keep them alive, that'll be great. And then he kind of fell behind in the aftermath as well, right? Because his follow-up pressures got shut down. And I think in general, Maru's build was not that good at maintaining pressure. And against a guy like DRG, you really don't want to let his creep and his workers get out of control because DRG will cut corners. I love that he's made the adjustment. DRG is going to run those lings around. We talked about how he could do that last game. And yet again, he's got favorable spawn with the add-ons will be starting on the outside and they'll be instantly dying to these Zerglings. He's going for the bunker behind the minerals. DRG will have to cancel this. DRG's droning pretty well, though. I like that DRG's building a few more drones, getting to 27 drones before going for those Zerglings. Oh. Wait, he's got to go in, man. Free add-ons, right? Is he waiting for the add-ons to start? Okay, now he clicks them in. Interesting. He's got 16 more lings building. They'll be able to surround these Reapers. If those Reapers go for that Queen, they might kill the Queens, but they will die. DRG being a little risky here. Oh, the SCV just killed the Queen! How often do you see an SCV kill a Queen? The reactor goes down, the lings are in! Oh my lord. Oh, uh-oh. You can get up there, kill the SCV building the command center right now. What's he doing? Oh, he's trying to kill the actual wall. He's trying to just win. DRG's just like, hey, if I kill this depot, you're dead. He's got to wall the top of the ramp. Maru needs to pull back and wall the top of the ramp. He's dead. He's dead. Oh my god, he's dead. Maru! Oh man! Oh me, oh my. And that is why, preferably, you don't want the add-on in the wall. Because this specific timing can take you out. He's going to try and pocket micro them, guys. Where if you can drill them in there, so only 1 or 2 lings can fight them at a time, and the SCVs can all get a single volley off. The Reaper's going to try and micro with it, but he's dead. There's no way, man. There's endless lings coming behind this. Oh, the wall off, actually. He walls off with the factory. The Reaper micro is pretty insane. But, I mean, you're just going to attack the wall from the other side with the Ling Rally, right? DRG's gone back to droning as well. He's already done enough damage. He could transition. The Lings finally get on the high ground and the low ground at the same time. He was struggling with the micro quite a bit. I can't believe these Reapers are still alive. DRG's panicking really hard. Finally, he gets the Reapers, and that'll be game. That's it. GG. There's no way, man. The Lings could kill those Marines as they pop out. These guys are just going to tear down the factory, most likely. I think he could just keep attacking that. I mean, he's got enough Lings to beat those Marines. These guys could probably tear it down, but it's 36 workers versus 10, and Maru is Maru on some strong copium, says the Twitch chat. Now, I got to agree. There ain't no way you're getting back in this one, man. DRG has a third up. He's building a Roach Warren and gases. I think DRG is like, well, there's no reason to extend this game. If I just make like a bunch of Ravages, I'll win. So I might as well just go kill him. He knows that Maru is pretty dead, man. Seen a lot of turns win from lost positions with 3CC. Not like this. Usually the difference in those scenarios is the Terran has Stim and some Medevacs or a few Banshees with Cloak. They have some sort of high-tech tool, whereas the Zerg has nothing but hatcheries and a few Queens and no lair. And then the Banshees, the drops come in, they do damage, they force a lot of army production. None of that's being forced right now. So Maru has no tools to leverage, and that's the problem. Chances of a comeback here are about 0.1%. It is a best of 5, but yeah, man. DRG just rampaging. Doing really good decisive attacks and going low ground barracks wall off. You know, it is risky. People started doing this. I was actually scripting a video, which I never ended up making, called 2 racks Reaper wall off sucks. Like, this is the worst build ever. And I was going to showcase a bunch of really good players losing to a bunch of really bad players, as well as good players losing to good players, and just talk about why was this not a thing for all of the history of StarCraft, and why is it a thing now? And what are some of the weaknesses that are sometimes getting exposed? Well, the main problem is your wall off is on your natural, which is much harder to defend than that main ramp. That main ramp is what defends so many all-ins because it's such a hard choke point to push through. Turns out when you're a glass cannon long-range race, a Terran, you really rely on that. I mean, Maru's doing a perfect defense in terms of getting 2 bunkers, Marines, getting a tank in it. He's trying to just get as many Marines out as he can before pulling the barracks back. He's going to be building more depots in the back, or he needs to do that at least. He's got a siege tank out. I don't think you can really stop this anyway because there's so many Zerglings, but I think he's doing pretty much everything he can to try. CV's trying to repair these bunkers, but yeah, he's going to have to pull the barracks back for sure. That's a lot of Ling Ravager, man. Mass Biles will take out the left bunker. The Lings will surround the tank. There's just way too much difference in the unit numbers. And GG, DRG is up 2-0 on Maru. What the hell is going on? Well, he's up 2-0 over Maru. This is not expected. DRG is never meant to beat Maru in a head-to-head. It's quite a valuable tournament as well. 3.5 grand. It's you know, one of the few tournaments that gets Maru up off his couch. Normally he just practices for the big tournaments and tries to hide his builds otherwise. But he came out for this one, and yet he's down 0-2. And he's doing low ground barracks Reaper wall again. I can't get behind this being repeated so often. I don't get me wrong. It's not a bad build order, but it's not super duper solid. It's very dangerous because your wall off is exposed on the natural. I mean, we've seen Serral destroy him with 2 base roach pushes because his buildings are exposed on the natural. We've seen players go 15-15, just shut it down with queens and get a big worker advantage because your command center is delayed. I've never been that big a fan of this becoming a standard every game build. I love this build getting mixed in, especially when the Zergs are doing the old opening, right? So we looked at a series, you know, where Dark just kept taking a 3rd hatchery and having a late Ling speed. And guess what? 4 Reapers were going to kill the hatchery and they'd get home and they'd do all sorts of damage, and Dark would be behind every game because he was not rushing Ling speed. But notice DRG usually rallies pretty much quickly onto gas. He's actually not pulling off minerals onto gas this time. Might not be expecting the 2-Rax Reaper again, but he's still going to go pretty quick Ling speed before taking a 3rd hatchery. And he's just going to be ready to shut down those Reapers on the map. So that also gives some very explosive counterattacks. We know Baneling busts have had great success. Maru's also been unlucky. Now you might be like, well, Maru's got the unlucky spawn multiple games, but you got to think about that. If you're in the top spawn, on the bottom spawn, your barracks are here, the add-ons on the inside of the wall, it's a little bit safer. Maybe you want to opt for this build a little bit more when you've got the safe spawn rather than the other one. Looks like it's the Bunker Reaper coming in again. He really wants to throw off DRG's build. I mean, in Maru's mind, this is clearly a solid opening. He's saying, hey, if I stop them getting a 3rd, I go 3 command center, I'm really happy with where I am in the game. But so far, it has not worked out for him. Last game, getting surprised by those 6 Lings running around the map. It's funny that he waited with the Lings, but you could tell DRG was kind of waiting until Ling speed was ready so that he could have the highest chance. He also wanted the Reapers to be as far committed to his side of the map as possible before going for it. Sneaky bunker over there on the side. Once again, going to confirm a cancel on that 3rd hatchery. The queens both injected. This is interesting. This is what DRG likes to do as a double inject. He delays his creep spread a lot, but notice he's got a good Ling speed timing, and he's already building overlords. So he's going to drone up to about 27, make a bunch of Zerglings, push back the 4 Reapers, surround and kill them if they don't get out of here in time, and then just kind of retake his 3rd base into his business. He's sneaking Lings across again. This time there are 2 Marines before add-ons. Smart adjustment by Maru in order to counteract this. Now remember, he waited for Ling speed last game. Looks like DRG is doing the exact same plan again. Might be able to kill the reactor while it's building. It doesn't have any armor while it's building. When it's finished building, it does have armor. 3rd hatchery gets cancelled. Drone does get taken out. A bunch more Zerglings are on the way. He's going to try and trap the Reapers on the way home. Would not be a bad way of doing it. Oh, no, he's letting the Reapers away. Oh, I don't like this. He could have caught those. Maru not really being too sneaky or anything. He just runs straight home, does get the Reapers home. Better opening for Maru this time. 3rd command center's on the way, and he's going to start Hellion production. That'll keep him much safer. He's going to build an extra reactor and a tech lab a little bit further back, keeping the stim, of course, protected. This looks like a more even game this time around, and DRG doesn't have like a big, massive advantage. I still don't know if Maru's actually ahead, but I think he feels okay having such a quick 3rd command center, as long as he keeps up that SCV production. SCV production, Maru, don't get tilted. There we go. 2 Hellions into 2 Cyclones, plus the 4 Reaper, always a really nice pressure. Starport going down, getting ready for the 2 Medevac Stim Marine follow-up to that. DRG's just droning on up, already long distance mining that 3rd base and going up to 6 Queens. Why don't pros ever go for Blue Flame? They will in the late game, but it's a very expensive upgrade. You need a factory on a tech lab, which means you need to be going for 2 factory. There are some 2 factory Blue Flame Hellion openings. Go for a big surprise wave of Blue Flame Hellions, but it's a big commitment. Normally, Widow Mines are the better unit than Hellions in big fights, which is why by the point you'd be adding upgrades like that, you're not using Hellions anymore. You're just using them as an early game map control harassment unit, occasionally adding some Hellbats as well. Oh, good surround, good surround. DRG gets rid of both Cyclones. Does he? Does he? Yes, just barely. Gets rid of both Cyclones and a Reaper. The Hellions do survive, as well as those Reapers, which will regen. But I think that's a pretty good trade. Only lost 16 Zerglings. Cyclones are the most annoying unit for the Queens to deal with, so that's really well done. Lair and Baneling Nest are on the way right now. DRG looking to expand his zone of control. I imagine he'll take a 4th down here. But if he really wants to focus his creep up in this direction, he could take a 4th here and just say, my whole success in this game depends on controlling that northern side of the map. If I can control that side, I defend my 3rd and my 4th and I win. But no, he's doing it a bit more standard, taking a safer 4th in the back. Double Evo chambers on the way there. 55 workers versus 39. I mean, the worker count looks great for DRG, but you've got to realize that there is going to be a double drop hitting with a bunch of Hellion Reaper. There's only 23 Zerglings out right now. He does have a lot of Queens, 9 Queens out, 2 more building. He's trying to make Banelings, but he only had a little bit of money there. That's only 2 Banelings as Hellbat's morphing. It's a Hellbat. Okay, it's a very committed Hellbat attack. Yes, there's engineering bays and barracks behind this, but right now Maru's going for broke. He's looking for the damage. It's a lot of Queens, a big bank of Queens there, but they only have a little bit of energy for healing. There's only 2 Banelings. Maru could easily focus those down. He needs more Banelings against this sort of push, preferably. Queens are doing a good job, though. I like how he's threatening to flank in, scares Maru back, and the Queens are actually getting a lot of damage. Every time Maru pulls back, the Queens are getting good damage. Ooh, a scary moment in the game for DRG, but he survives on 61 drones. 4th base is on the way, and Maru is going to swap into harassment mode. Double drop goes there into the main. The Lings are on top along with that Queen. And the extra barracks going down behind this. That's going to be a 5 barracks follow-up. 1-1 upgrades on the way. Marine tank on hard lead. This is a great map for Terran. It's one of the favorite Terran picks in this map pool. And I'd love to see DRG take down these rocks, because I really feel the rocks are a big problem for the Zerg. They really help the Terran player. And they create some nasty tank positions. He's got plenty of Zerglings as well, but of course Maru's keeping up the pressure pretty nicely, and he's even going to push this north side with a few tanks. Wonder where those tanks come from. Looks like DRG's getting ready to pounce on this. Baneling speed, 20 seconds out. 1-1, 50 seconds out. Maru does not have 1-1 yet. Just stim shields, a few tanks, Hellbats, and Marines. He's going to push forward. DRG falling back. 16 worker advantage for DRG right now. He realizes, I do not want to fight right now. I want those upgrades to finish. Not many units to watch for the counterattack right now. Ling Bane going around for the counterattack. Giving up this base would not be the end of the world. DRG has a 5th base on the way, so we can always move the drones here over to that middle base. Massive Ling Bane counterattack. Banelings are in front. The tank siege is up at the perfect time. Maru looks like he's ready for it. The Ling Bane cannot breach. Great defense by Maru. Really good awareness. These tanks in a killer position on the high ground. The Marines are going to go in, trying to bait those Queens into the tank positions, but the Queens staying back and not overextending. He does pick up and boost this medevac out. DRG seeing that could run in and clear these SCVs on the 3rd, or he's got to come in for the swinging flank. He's got to make a decision with this. DRG's starting to lose his Queens. He's got to make a decision. He's got to do it soon. These guys, if they want to come in for the counterattack, he needs to go get on the watchtower, come in from the north. If he comes in from that right side, he can sandwich this position. Right now, the Ling Bane counterattack's not doing anything. DRG needs to make a decision, and he needs to make that decision soon. Those Queens are starting to drop like flies. He's going for it. The Ling Bane from the right, a little bit far behind. As you can see, those Banelings far behind, but it doesn't matter because the Banelings from the actual base get on top of the Hellbats, and once the Hellbats are gone, the Lings can close in. Great focus fire for Maru. Does take out a lot of those Banelings. 2,000 resources ahead for Maru. He is down a few workers, 12 workers, but he maintains position on the front, and that is a huge problem for DRG. DRG is trying to get Hydra upgrades in 2-2. 2-2 starts slightly behind for Maru. DRG gives up this base. It's not the end of the world. Like I said, he's got the middle base. DRG's Queen's getting pushed back. These drones are exposed. I think he's got to abandon this base. There's just no way he can fight on this ledge anymore. Maru caught rallying across the map, though. Very greedy for Maru. Maru caught with his pants down, and he does end up losing control of that 3rd base. He's got almost no units at home. The Banelings catch the rally point. Maru rallying across the map is one of the riskiest moves in StarCraft. He thought he identified that DRG had been forced into a defensive mindset. He was wrong, and he gets punished big time. 18 workers do go down. Remember, it's only 5 barracks, a factory, and a starport. It's not a big 3-base production. Maru will just try to rebuild and do what he can, but that army actually gets caught in the middle, crossing over to the left side of the map. DRG immediately pops that hatchery back up, and he's still ready to counterattack. I love the way DRG is splitting his army. Army on the left and the army going up to the right, looking for another counterattack. Maru, he doesn't have a spotting depots very far out. He doesn't have a lot of warning here. Maru barely gets the wall up in time. The Baneling's going to shut it down. There is a tank on the high ground. Sergeant Chadhammer anchoring the high ground. Another tank at the choke point on the right, but the Banelings, if they get on top of those SCVs, they can make some boom booms. Lings will clear out that tank on the low ground. The tank on the high ground gets jumped on as well. Both tanks going down. Oh no! Maru's natural is breached. He's taking catastrophic damage. I thought those 2 tanks would be enough, but they were not. Without the wall up on the high ground, he could not defend it. Maru taking massive losses right now, but he does counterattack and gets a snipe on the hatchery, but he's got to do more than that. Killing these tanks would be a big success for DRG. Hydras are in range of the tank, as are the Zerglings. And look at that, the Marines microing back nicely. But remember that Maru has very little economy behind it. There's still Zerglings inside his bloody main base just standing there. Maru trying to rebuild the workers. 2-2 is done for both sides. Hydras have both groove spines and muscular augments. They are a very effective unit. Now, obviously, there's no Hive. This is not a game that will ever get to Hive Tech. It is going to be decided on Lair Tech up against a 3-base Terran almost certainly. Neither side can afford to be building any of those extra things. DRG is actually floating money right now, though. He's got to be careful. Doesn't have a macro hatch. He's been losing bases. Does rebuild a base on that left. Liberator's coming in on the right side. They're going to siege on this base. There's not many queens left on this base. There's 11 in total. Never mind. I thought he lost more queens than that. He's only lost 5. So DRG's actually done a good job of preserving that. Queens on the high ground will clean this up. Triple drop on the left does get cleaned. Hydra's going to push that away as well. Only 2 drones end up going down for a Liberator and a bit of mining time. That's overall going to be good for DRG. DRG has more bases and he's got good creep control. The Marine tank here going to get swarmed. DRG going for a crazy attack, but he might just have the numbers to make it worth it. Banelings catch those Marines as they unload on the left side. Lings do take out the tanks. The Hydra's there starting to clean up some of these medevacs and Marines. This might be a game-winning attack, and indeed it is. What in the hell did we just witness? DRG just 3-0'd Maru, and he played very good StarCraft doing it. It's not like Maru played like utter arse here or anything. He just defended that Hellbat timing really well. It felt like a series where Maru overcommitted to a lot of aggression, but it's not like there was massive execution errors. It was just strategically he chose to be very aggressive, and DRG kept shutting down those attacks. DRG got the nasty Ling runaround sort of counterattack victory in the second game. And yeah, from this point, DRG was actually just flying, soaring colors, shut everything down. Really well played by DRG, and a massively surprising result. DRG's been on a tear lately, and I really feel like you want to play against DRG in a way where you do not let him get in his element, because I think if you take him out of his comfort zone, he looks like he's on a very significant tier or 2 below a guy like Maru. But Maru, I think, overcommitted into aggression, into a guy that excels on Lair Tech in this mid-game. DRG navigated the scariest parts with the Reaper bunker aggression, the Marine Hellbat timings. This tank push he did really well versus. Really well played by DRG. GG. Well played.